Super Bowl rematch. Sunday, Eagles, Chiefs. The first step to a dynasty is ending the last one. We loved what happened 7 months ago, beating the Chiefs, I believe, 34-0 before the game. The refs just let it go. It was over. That was a great feeling. But the feeling I want the team remembering this week is this Super Bowl. I'm not wearing the Super Bowl champs hat today. I'm wearing the Super Bowl that got ripped away from us by an unfortunate fumble, by a ticky-tack holding call, and by a field that, honestly, they should have been playing the Winter Classic on. I want the Eagles to avenge that one. I want them to bury the Chiefs, like I said yesterday. Teams that start 0-2 since playoff expansion make the playoffs about 6% of the time. You put the Chiefs on their backs, and that is the first step on the way to greatness. Last year was a ton of fun. You got that one. We got the one to kick it off, and now it's about pursuing that greatness. It's about becoming an all-time great team. You do it by ending Mahomes' reign on Sunday. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to Billadelphia. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. We are broadcasting live from the Xfinity Lounge with a great show for you here today. I'm amped up for this game. I am amped up for this game on Sunday because I told you yesterday how much I hate the Chiefs, how much I hate Andy Reid, and how bad I want this Eagles team to be that next great dynasty that everybody else in the league hates. Well, to do it, you take them out. End their season twice in 7 months. You can come back from an 0-2 start. It's been done. Hell, Andy did it here in 2003. But it's real difficult. It is real hard. They already have a division loss. Then they get reminded of the beatdown they were given 7 months ago. I am amped up for this. I am amped up for the Eagles to be that next great team. It starts Sunday. But right now, it's time to hit some headlines. First headline today, how can we not talk? Speaking of beatdowns of teams we hate, how can we not talk about the Phils' big win last night? They have now taken the first 3 games of this 4-game set, and I want to bury those losers. I'll tell you the perfect encapsulation of the Mets. That Juan Soto home run to make it 9-2 with 1 out in the 8th. That is the Mets right there. Soto the other night stealing third. Like, those were the perfect, oh man, they have so much talent. They have such a high payroll. This team, they look at the numbers, and then they lose. And they lose not in dramatic fashion. They get killed. Again, I was absolutely elated with what we got last night. And now it's time to show no mercy. Do not take the foot off the gas. I need those Phils to go out and get that 4th one, because now, with a 10-game lead on the Mets, you can expand it to 11. You've got a record at 86-60. The Phils are within 2.5 games of that number 1 seed in the NL with 16 to play, and I want it. I want it real bad. I know home field and all that hasn't gone necessarily the way we've wanted it to, really since the 5 home run game against the Astros. Like, after the no-hitter, it hasn't quite gone the way we've wanted it to, but It feels different right now. Doesn't it just feel different? This team seems rejuvenated, especially at home. You know, they're 38 and 37 on the road. They're 25 over 500 at home. Seems to me as if playing at home is a recipe for getting back to the World Series. But I was talking to Tyler about this before the show. The Brewers, they are just, I keep expecting them to fall off, and they haven't. Are they actually for real, Tyler?
Yeah, I think so. And I know they got swept recently, but it's one of those teams where I don't think they have the standout star. I think Christian Yelich used to be that guy. I don't think, he's played well this year, don't get me wrong, but he's not the household name that he used to be. They don't have that standout guy. Freddie Peralta, I was saying to you, might be one of the most underrated pitchers in all of baseball, and finally starting to get some respect. MLB ranked him as the number 3 starter in baseball, only behind Tarek Skubal, who's probably going to win the AL Cy Young, and Garrett Cole, who's probably Paul Skeens, who's probably going to win the NL Cy Young. And I look at that Brewers team, and what they do well is, yes, like they're not gonna they're not a home run smashing team. They could beat you with the long ball from time to time, but they run the bases well. They're fundamentally sound. They're a good defensive team. They don't strike out a lot. They're one of 3 teams in baseball with a 260 team average or better. So they just kind of do a lot of the things, the little stuff that baseball requires that maybe has slipped through the cracks because of launch angle and juiced baseballs and then de-juiced baseballs and then re-juiced baseballs. But they just do things, like a lot of the little things, really, really well. Are they my biggest concern heading into the postseason? They're actually not. But I do think that they are a legit team, no question about it.
Yeah, and that's why, just looking at what this Phillies team has done at home versus on the road, I want every advantage, because this team just feels a little different than it has the last couple of years, when we knew what happened last year. They were out of gas once they got to the playoffs. That's not what I'm seeing right now. That team played, 500 ball after the All-Star break? That's not these Phils. These Phils have a chance, and I just want every advantage now. I'm going to be the hot team going in. I want to reverse this trajectory that we're on, and we'll get into a little bit of that later. But one more headline before we take our first break. It's Kirill Kaprizov. I know we haven't done hockey yet. I get a whole hour every day to talk hockey. But this is just an interesting situation going on with the Minnesota Wild. Kirill Kaprizov turned down a record deal in an extension with Minnesota. The average annual value of $16 million would have been $2 million more than Leon Draisaitl has than he has in Edmonton. And Alex Ovechkin's $124 million is the most total money of an NHL deal ever, and this would surpass that as well. It would be the richest deal in history, and the superstar turned it down. In a situation like this, do you just have to trade your star now? Like, if he's not willing to accept record money on a long-term deal, I don't know what other course of action you have as a GM other than trade him. Maybe you get another team's expiring guy and you have better luck negotiating with them. Like, are you just in a spot where if record money doesn't do it, what the hell will?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, because I think when you trade your superstar player, the likeliest scenario is you probably don't get the return that you're looking for. I think there's been way more examples of undervalued trades where you send the star away than the example of Juan Soto, for example, where the Nationals, that haul looks great for the Nationals. James Wood, CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, they've got a bunch of really good players out of that. But more times than not, you get the Travis Lees, the Vicente Padillas. You get my point, right? When you trade your superstar player away, especially a guy who's on the final year of his deal, because I think a lot of teams are looking at it and going, yes, he's going to hit the open market, which means we have to battle all the teams in the NHL. But why would we trade away assets, trade away young prospects, trade away draft picks, whatever the combination's going to be, to acquire a player who may not want to play for us past this season anyway?
We saw it happen just last year in the NHL. Mikko Rantanen gets traded to Carolina. Carolina makes the deal without an extension in place, quickly realizes he ain't signing, and they have to turn around and flip him again. And maybe that's kind of, if you come to the conclusion, you know what, Kaprizov just wants to hit the market, I guess you have to do it. It's just such a tough situation. But Charlie and I are going to do an episode of The Shootout later today. I'm sure it'll air this weekend or something on the PHLY Flyers little tab there on this YouTube page. A little more in depth, but when these GMs get backed into these situations, I always just wonder, what the hell can they actually do? You don't want to start over. You don't want to lose one of the best players in the league, but if you lose him for nothing, you're screwed.
Yeah, I think especially once the information comes out that says this guy doesn't want to play for you, or at least perceived doesn't want to play for you. When you turn down that type of money, it's perceived that he doesn't want to play for you past this year. And when that type of information leaks itself out, other GMs look at it and go, well, we want him, but only at 75% of the offer that we were going to give you because we know that he doesn't want to play for you. So your other option is you just let him play out the season and then he walks away and you get nothing.
Yeah, all right. And with that, let's take our first commercial break. All right, I got to tell you about Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. You know it's Big Brothers Big Sisters month here at PHLY and all across the ALLCITY network. You've seen the little donate tab right underneath the chat box, and we would absolutely love it if you could help us just a few dollars get towards our goal of $50K across the company. But more than your money, they need your time. Go to bbbs.org right now. And if you have the time, if you have the inclination to be a one-to-one mentor with the youth of tomorrow, it is the best gift you can give is your time to kids who just maybe need a little bit of a bit of a mentor in their life, a friend, whatever it is. If you have the time and inclination, go to bbbs.org. Check out what it takes to become a big. And if you have that time, we would love it so much if you signed up to be a mentor and really get in on a tremendous program. That's bbbs.org, or you can donate right below.
All right, let me tell you about our friends over at Xfinity because, listen, you've got a lot going on this weekend. You know, college football, pro football, it's all back. Baseball is in the final couple of weeks of the year. You don't want to end up having a setup that is a total mess, one that lags, it buffers. You have to switch between apps just to find the game. Your friends, they offer you a chance to come hang out. You say, no thanks, because you think you're a big fan, but you're getting fan-fished. If you call yourself a football fan, you call yourself a sports fan, you have to get Xfinity. It is the ultimate sports destination where you can find all of the best games and your favorite teams all in one place. And the way that you watch, it becomes next level. It is the perfect fan flex that gets you all of the action right in your living room. Plus, with Xfinity's best picture and sound enhanced with 4K, it's so clear you're going to feel like you're at the stadium anyway. So sometimes you want to think about, I want to watch this game and that game and this game, and they're all at the same time. Don't worry, you can get 4 games going at once, because why not? And on top of that, you get real-time notification and live stats right on your TV. It is the best seat in the house every single time. Next game day, make sure that that big fan in your life isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that.
Hell yeah, Tyler. You crushed that. That was outstanding. Anyway, let's talk a little Red October because just beating the Mets gets me ready, man. We're talking about getting that number 1 seed. We're talking about staying ahead of the Dodgers to at least get that bye. And I feel as if this team has the ability to reverse the trend. Because we lived through this once, right? A trend of teams going backwards in the postseason. We saw it from 2008 through 2011. And we've kind of been with this current Phillies team on that similar trajectory, except we didn't get the parade that made it all okay. You know, and I just feel as if the vibes have changed, Tyler. Like this is a team that has that chance to be the hot team going in, not that team like last year that ran out of gas. And it starts with finishing this sweep. This team has a tendency. I know I'm just so crazy about hating the Mets, but it's not just the Mets. I feel as if I have one. This team has one flaw this regular season, and there aren't many. Again, they're 2.5 games out of the number 1 seed in the NL. Once they get the series win, it feels like getaway day is exactly that. They have taken their foot a little off the gas, but now with the number 1 seed in sight, I am very much hoping that doesn't happen. And one of the big reasons I feel that the vibes have changed, man, it's Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader, and I know this isn't a revelation, man. You know, he's hitting like 600 against the Mets this year. They move him to the leadoff spot. He looks even better. But I have said all along that all we need is those top 3 guys, when healthy, whenever they get Trey back. They need Trey, they need Schwarber, and they need Harper to be themselves, the guys they're getting paid to be. And then one more dude in the lineup, just one more guy to come up big. And it feels like Bader could be that guy. He's slashing 336, 403, 536 with 13 extra base hits and 13 runs batted in since the trade. Could you ask for anything more? Like, and even forget about, oh yeah, they also have a lockdown closer now too. We weren't crazy about this move at the time. I don't know if we thought, oh man, they ran away with the trade deadline, but hell if they didn't.
I mean, he has been so far better than any of my expectations. I used the word meh to describe the deal. Like it didn't, you knew defensively he was going to be elite. He's a good base runner. What was he going to provide you? Having a good pop year in terms of home runs. Bill, he had 70 hits in 96 games with the Twins, which is not bad. He was hitting just about 260. It was a fine year. He has 37 hits in 34 games with the Phillies. He would be on pace if he played 96 games with the Phillies to have well over 100 hits. What he's done, because it was what can you get from the bottom of the lineup? And then it's like, wow, he really bolsters the bottom of the lineup. And then it's like, oh my goodness, he's going to lead off while Trey Turner's out, and all he's done is provide you 5 hits in the last 2 games since Trey Turner's gone out with injury. Everything he's been asked to do, he's multiplied by 2 and 3. If he has the ability to keep this up down the stretch, if Brandon Marsh can keep up the way that he's hitting down the stretch, if you get good at-bats from Bryson Stott and Edmundo Sosa until Trey Turner comes back, I think right now you are looking at not only one of the most complete teams in baseball, but I think even with the only thing that would make this team more complete is if Zach Wheeler were healthy. Because then you'd have your rotation locked down, because it's still really, really good without Wheeler.
We've seen it the last 3 nights.
That is the only thing that prevents me from saying this is the most complete the Phillies could possibly be heading into the postseason.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the runaway favorite, but they are. I think they have as good a chance as anybody to win the World Series. They are right there with everybody. I can't say anyone is head and shoulders ahead of them. And I don't think it's a coincidence that as soon as you get an everyday center fielder, the rest of the outfield kind of falls into place. I know they've platooned it a little, and certain matchups they might have Marsh in center on the Bader day off or whatever. But looking at what they have now, we went from, oh man, we just don't have an outfield to, oh, this is actually a legitimate part of our lineup right now. This is what's winning us games. Bryce isn't having a special season. Trey is out. I'm hoping Bryce, that home run last night, is the thing that gets him going. That is, okay, you don't need to win regular season MVPs anymore. That's not what I need out of him. I need the guy who's hitting 400 in the postseason for us. That is the Harper I need. So I'm fine with it, but it just seems to all be coming together at this right time. And it starts with, yeah, man, we had no outfield, and now suddenly we do. It's working. And I'm just really excited about what this Red October could be, whether they get that 1 seed or not, because it just feels different than last year, Well,
I think you should be excited because, like you said, the outfield productivity was next to nothing. I believe they were either 26th or 28th in terms of batting average and productivity from their outfield heading into the trade deadline. Since that time, Bader has been, as we talked about, better than you could have ever asked for. Marsh has stepped up in a huge way. He's hitting well over 400 in the month of September. Max Kepler was a guy that we were ready to DFA.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the pop is back in his bat, and he's hitting close to 260, I believe, in the last 2 months combined. They have found some kind of formula that works, and it may be way different than what we expected it to be, but when the results of the expected team over the last 2 years was kind of run into a brick wall until the brick wall stops you, maybe something different is what propels them forward.
I went from thinking maybe that Wheeler injury is just the nail in the coffin to, what if that's a rallying cry? What if it's that underdog mentality we saw, the Eagles, the number 1 seed, but since they lost their quarterback, they got to play the we all we need card. Perhaps it's something like that. It is funny that oh yeah, the team with the 5th highest payroll, but they have run into some adversity now, and they're coming out on the other side. And I don't know if that's something that they'd been able to say other than, getting Joe Girardi fired that first year. The adversity was, we just don't like the manager. Please get someone who will leave us alone. But I am really, really excited and looking forward to seeing what this team can do in October. With that, let's hit that second break. I got to tell you right now about the Parx Online Casino app, because whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the Parx Online Casino app. You got to check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and the Parx exclusive Fireblaze Sky Queen. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games in the palm of my hand. They've got blackjack, they've got roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra. But that's not all. They've got slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. And right now, new users can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, whether it's something small, like an outlet that you said you're going to be fixing for a while, or something significantly larger, like plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, if you're not a pro, don't try to be a hero. Call our friends over at Ace Hardware and Ace Hardware Home Services. You know that they're the helpful hardware folks, but now do you know that they bring that helpful hardware folks feel all the way right to your front door, from Philly to the Jersey Shore. And that's their mantra now, is they want to do it up and down the locality. And that's how they want to be, because they are local. They're experts. They're techs. They live in their communities that you live in, and they work, and they want to make sure that your communities thrive as best as they can. So what do they bring? They bring experience. They bring understanding, and they're going to work with you to work with your home, your budget, and what works best for you and what you're looking for and what you need fixed. They also give you incredible understanding. They're going to work with you and answer your questions to help you know exactly what you're getting at. There's no hidden fees. There's no surprises. They want to make sure that everything that you do is right up to par for you and for your home and for your budget. So head on over to Ace Hardware and AceHardwareHomeservices.com and get started on your next project today.
Oh, I just love those transitions. All right, it is time for the social studies segment, and I have a couple of tweets that I saw within a few minutes of each other last night that just really, really made me laugh, both pertaining to QB1 Jalen Hurts. This first one from Chargers Ruined. I love how mad people are at how good the Eagles are and how much Jalen Hurts just wins. And the excuses they make for guys like Justin Herbert, who just, you know what? You threw 4 interceptions against the Jags. So, like, to claim NFC teams got to go through Goff, Hurts, and Daniels while I have to go through Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar, and it's a gif of not Modern Family. What the hell's the show?
Family Guy.
Family Guy. Peter from Family Guy just freaking out like in a straitjacket. And to not acknowledge how great Jalen Hurts is and blame your own shortcomings on the matchups when it's like you haven't even gotten to those guys because you lose in the wild card round. It's such an embarrassment. And I do, however, love having this special quarterback that we do in Jalen Hurts, because this next one that flies right in the face of it. Quarterback winning percentages since 2022. Hurts at almost 800. He's 38-10 since 2022. Mahomes under him at 780, then Allen, then Lamar. Yes, that is an absolute murderer's row. But the thing is, those other guys below Mahomes, isn't their thing they keep coming up small in the playoffs? Now, yes, there have been some crazy circumstances. It kind of seemed like Allen got that first down last year, that back and forth overtime game. But isn't Lamar's thing he doesn't win in the playoffs? That's the big knock against him, is he keeps winning MVPs and can't get it done. This idea that the path is easier because everyone in the NFC has to go through Jalen Hurts, the ultimate freaking winner. All he does is win. And I know, the Eagles are so good. Since 2021, the Eagles are 3-3 in non-Hurts starts. They're 46-17 since he became QB1. What? I know that the team is stacked. I know they have a lot going for them. But this guy is just a winner, and it feels so good. It's so fun having a special quarterback. And not special in the way of, when I watch Justin Herbert drop back and throw the ball, I go, wow, that's something right there. But special in terms of leadership, in terms of ability to match the moment. Nobody comes close to Jalen Hurts. And you don't have to take it from me. I'm just some guy on the couch. I haven't played competitive sports since high school. Take it from Michael Jordan. You think Michael Jordan cozies up next to a guy who just wins because, I don't know, he's cool. I like his haircut. No, it's because he sees that thing in Jalen Hurts. All he does is win. I was a skeptic heading into 2022. My thing at the time when I was on the air was, I just don't know if Hurts can improve enough to be where he has to be. But if anyone can do it because of what I think of his intangibles, it is him. And he did. He did. He had what should have been an MVP season that year. And all the team has done is win since then. I am just really excited. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited for this game. Tyler brought up a statistic for me of all the most recent Super Bowl rematches. And you look at this. This is why I'm very confident heading in. 7 of the last 9 Super Bowl rematches, the team that won the Super Bowl also won the rematch. The last one to not do it, it was Hurts in the revenge game from the 2022 game. He wins that one. The Eagles with Jalen Hurts are just absolutely something special right now. And I think we are lucky to have Jalen Hurts in this town. You can have a guy who puts up better passing statistics. You can have a guy who plays a prettier game. We have a winning football player. If he wasn't a quarterback, he'd be awesome at some other position, and he would be leading this team. I love Jalen, and I am so happy we have a guy who not only wins all the time, but makes people mad doing it. That's the other step on the way to becoming that hated dynasty I want to be, is have the team that makes everyone so mad with the tush push. And he's not even that good. He only threw for 150 yards. I'm sorry, he's efficient and a winner. Yeah, it really warms my heart.
The other thing, too, like on top of the Hurts thing, the other side of the argument is like, well, the Eagles have the best roster in the NFL. And my question is, like, isn't that the point of sports? I always assumed the point of sports was to win and to build the best roster possible. Like, I don't personally think that winning with a scrappy group of underdogs means anything more to me than winning with the best roster in football. Like last year, the Eagles were 2-2, and we had a lot of complaints. Yeah. And all they did coming out of the bye was beat the crap out of every team pretty much that they played, with the exception of the one Washington game where Jalen Hurts was marching down the field before the injury. All they did was beat up on teams. They went into the Super Bowl. They scored the NFC Championship game. They scored 55 points. They went into the Super Bowl. They scored 41 points. The Chiefs team that was supposed to be the defense that was going to lock this Eagles offense up. They're going to stop Saquon Barkley. Okay, you boxed up Saquon Barkley. The Eagles still dropped 44 on you. The Chiefs, scored a touchdown after the Eagles had dumped Gatorade on Nick Sirianni. That's how unserious that touchdown was. That game wasn't close.
That game was 34-0, and they get their first touchdown when the referees just decide, you know what, you're allowed to hold Brandon Graham. You're just allowed to have a blatant hold and that basically re-tears his pec. I can't wait to end their dynasty so that we can officially begin ours, because I see it happening, and I see it happening because we have greatness at the quarterback position. All right, last thing before we get out of here. It is on this date, on September 11th, 2004, Ryan Howard hit his first career home run. Now, we all remember, 2005, Howard comes up, gets Rookie of the Year, and then goes on to become the Ryan Howard, the big piece that we all know and love. But he gets a September call-up in 2004. He starts out 3 for 9 with a double, and then in a game against the Mets on September 11th, he got a pinch hit opportunity for Jeff Geary in the 7th inning and sent a Bartolome Fortunato pitch over 400 feet to right center in Shea to pull the Phillies within a run. Phils go on to win 11-9 in 13 innings. Also homering for the Phils that day, Todd Pratt, David Bell, and Pat Burrell. Ricky Bottalico pitched for the Mets that day. Just feels like those two eras don't match up, but he was there. We both yesterday spoke a lot about Ryan Howard, but it was on this day today, first career home run 21 years ago.
Bill, I got to tell you, I think I watch a lot of baseball. I think I know a lot of history of baseball.
When I said that name earlier, you were like, that's not a real person.
You could have given me 8,000 guesses as to who the pitcher of record that was. There would have been no chance. No chance. I probably would have said Ricky Bo before I gave you the correct answer.
Just naming guys. Just like, I don't know. He was a pitcher. All right. And that is all the time we have for you on Billadelphia today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube. And maybe think about being a member, become a member of the Supporters Club as well. Follow me at Billadelphia, PHLY on Twitter, and follow the podcast. Pretty sure we have a podcast. Fairly certain that's happening. Yeah, Tyler's been sending me the links. I know that's happening. All right, that is it. Make sure you tune in. 4 o'clock today, PHLY Flyers, Charlie and I talking rookie camp. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.